Welcome back to Healing, Empowering, Accepting, and Living, a podcast sponsored by Change by Fire. We're glad to be here and to have you here as a part of our journey as we continue to explore identity work and really feel into understanding, finding, and living in ourselves. My name is Lori Janik, and I've been pretty active in the burn community for about 15 years as an advocate, a social worker. Currently, I'm a holistic trauma therapist. And this is
I'm Jen Severance, and among other things, I am a burn survivor, giving the perspective of the burn survivor in this wonderful podcast that we're offering to you today. So, last episode was episode 5, Building Confidence in You, exploring confidence, how it's built, how we can look internally and recognize what we can still do. Exploring shifts in how we speak to ourselves, getting curious versus comparative, and being kind in words and actions, and building a support team amidst recognizing our good.
Mm-hmm.
So, where have you practiced that STEPS tool from the last episode that came from the Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors? We talked about that at the end. Have you perhaps noticed it helping you or helping you build your confidence? We would love to hear from you. So, today we are stepping into our 6th episode of Finding Identity, finding a community of healing. So, what's important about building a community around you, and how might it impact your healing journey? So, let's take a look at that today, and let's get healing.
So let's start off by one of my favorite ways to invest in a topic and an idea, figuring out what the heck it means. So community, that is an awfully big word that's actually used a lot today in healing circles.
Mhm.
But what really is community? So from a definition standpoint, community is a group of people living in the same place, maybe having particular characteristics, situations in common. Community can be found in a sense, kind of in an internal sense of connection, of partnership, of ownership, of belonging with others. So it can often allow for, common attitudes, common interests, common goals. So community really has a lot to do with connection and similarities in how they're felt. That makes sense on how valuing it can be with people. I mean, heck, we all want to move towards connection.
Mhm.
How do you see and feel community, Jen?
Well, gosh, the word just has common right built into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we all have various communities in our life. This is the burn community that we speak to. Um, your folks at work, your friends, your hobbies, communities all around us. Um, Going from macro to we are all humans
Mm-hmm.
to your little communities of your hobbies, what you like to do in life, your arts, your form of expression, friends. What do we have in common? I think is the main thing there.
I love that just because I'm like that literal definition nerd where it's like you
Mhm.
took like literally a part of community common.
Common.
And that makes so much sense. That sense of common and really how that builds into our sense of belonging.
Yeah.
We all have this innate wired need for belonging in ourselves, belonging amongst others, and community kind of allows for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And being part of a community, a felt sense of community, gives us a sense of belonging and support during difficult times. It allows us to It allows us access to advice, help,
Mhm.
people to lean on that makes us not feel so alone in life with life's difficulties. So, I mean, community helps us form our sense of identity. So we are alone essentially, but when we have community,
We're not fully
that
alone.
yeah, we're not quite alone, and that community can help us, understand ourselves better as well and our shared values and beliefs. So can help us feel less stressed overall,
Mhm.
less alone, more connected. These lead to physiological effects as well and how our bodies function, our health supports, and life engagements too. Crazy how much connection affects us on the inside and the out.
Mm. Well, and I love, like, just even that acknowledgement of connection and the affects it brings. Because
Mhm.
community for me, and probably part of this is just my role in my role in my career and in the world, and just, like, I'm such a nerd for learning. Community is it's so interconnected with co-regulation. So co-regulation is that sense of safety and connection with another,
Mm.
which is what community brings. So it helps you feel not fully alone, so you feel safer in yourself, so then you
Mhm.
can navigate more things with that safety in yourself. And they've actually done such studies on individuals that have a sense of community and just that greater sense of confidence, that greater overall health aspects, lesser comorbidities, more of a sense of kind of motivation and drive. So it's
Mm.
crazy the affects that community can bring. And like you referenced, Jen, many people, I mean, we all have all different communities that we grow, that we
Mhm.
live in life. And some of us are born into our communities, like our culture, religion, certain places of living. And for a lot of people, communities are kind of made in the things that they're interested about, the things that they're engaged in, political ventures, health ventures, whatever they might be. And these communities really are carrying spaces. They help
Mm.
carry us and help us feel safe as we move through life. But sometimes we grow away from our communities. Sometimes they don't always line up well as they did before due to our own growth, due to
Mhm.
changes, due to relationship differences. And so I think exploring a little bit that, what do you do then when your communities of origin don't really fully provide the support that you might need or that they used to, when you need additional healing spaces? I mean, then it's you got to reach out, you got to search, you got to find
Mhm.
new, and how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, and a great example of that might be after your burn, injury, or trauma, right?
Mhm.
So, in these situations, dynamics often change due to lack of awareness of what happened, a lack of education surrounding burn injuries and healing support needs. I know when I was burned, I don't think I knew a single burn survivor in my
Mhm.
life. Like it's new territory. There are fears surrounding interactions with individuals walking through that trauma,
Mhm.
cultural and religious beliefs that you spoke about affecting healing. So, a person can experience tremendous losses in their sense of community throughout an injury and the healing process, which can affect many emotions and
Mhm.
the sense of safety and support in recovery. And as a great part of healing, of building back into a whole you and your sense of identity, it's found in safety and connection,
Mhm.
right? And having a community is an integral part of healing and your healing work. So, what does that mean if you have community losses through your injury? So, you might have to do some rebuilding, turning to family, friends, healing helpers within recovery
Mhm.
settings, support groups, peer mentors, podcast and social media resources. Think outside the box. We were talking earlier about even the healthcare workers in the
Mhm.
healthcare system. So, yeah, like what are some ideas around building a community post injury and what might that look like?
And I think there's so many, like, ideas that could realm to. I love the idea of,
Mm.
okay, like, can I find my community in the space that healed me? within the context of hospital? What do they know about? Can they educate me more about kind of my injury or connect me with other
Mhm.
survivors in healing? I love the ideas and use that many have turned to in terms of, do they have a mentorship program in my hospital, in my community? Can I be a mentor? Can I get a
Mhm.
mentor? Do they have any type of support group? Even just like building a sense of, okay, I really liked to, for example, crochet before my injury, and I never had anyone that I could crochet with. I just picked a random one there. And I'm gonna look and see if, maybe they have like a crochet group that I can do and I can engage in that doesn't feel like it's burn related, so I can build that sense of identity, but also get a greater community surrounding, because
Mhm.
loss is such a real happening surrounding a trauma, because everyone copes with trauma differently. And many
Yeah.
people back away because they don't know what to do, how to understand. So there's a very big sense of realness, and very often you may have to fill in the missing pieces, the gaps in your sense of community and support
Mhm.
to continue growing and living through that journey.
Yeah.
And really, that's kind of what Change by Fire was built around, which I did not start Change by Fire. My amazing colleague in the community, Julie, actually, I worked with her when her mother was in the hospital, and she was devastatingly injured and
Mm.
unfortunately succumbed to the severity of her burn injury. And she built Change by Fire kind of as a way to rebuild that sense of community, that sense
Yeah.
of connection in others. And there's long existed, I think, some gaps in healing, and this is found in just about every facet, every area of life, but in burn healing, especially surrounding the post-hospital and recovery journey.
Mhm.
And what we've tried to do with the context of Change by Fire and this nonprofit is really build community through the contributions that we're trying to make in healing. So, supporting people and connecting with alternative healing modalities and kind of paying for this additional realm of healing and getting towards a greater sense of safety in their body through scar massage, through art therapy, through music therapy, through equine therapy, through yoga, building a sense of community towards kind of educating and understanding. Like, that's part of what this podcast platform was built around, to build a sense of virtual community, to build a sense of understanding, awareness. What are we walking
Mhm.
through? What are we growing through? Community events. We have an annual equine therapy and wellness day that we do. We have a family picnic that we do. Again, like connecting and building a sense of friendship and understanding, and kind of individuals going through a similar walk and space in life
Yep.
that can provide a greater sense of support. And all of this community building effort just builds that felt sense of safety and connection internally and externally
Yeah.
surrounding healing. We try to view healing from traumatic injuries and burn experiences with a sense of holism. And I love this concept. It's healing centered, not just trauma informed.
Yeah.
So, meaning this whole injury recovery healing process, it's not just an individual experience, but it's experienced collectively by all whom the burn injury touches: family members, friends, those who care for healing supports. And if we want to rebuild community, we want to move from what happened to you to what's right with you,
Mhm.
and help people really become kind of agents in their own healing journey and their own reconnection, and kind of in their own reconnection to themselves and to others in life. Now, I have not been through a burn injury myself, but Jen has.
Yes, I have.
And this is also another whole, like, she brings such value to this podcast and the wealth of knowledge and experience she has in that recovery walk. And if we're talking on community, I would be curious, Jen, what are some of the ways that you have felt the community has helped you through your burn injury and healing? And what are some ways that it was affected? How did
Mhm.
you kind of navigate through resources?
Well, I think it begins in the hospital. I think the hospital experience is so important in starting to offer a community to burn survivors.
Mm.
Um, and I'm really lucky that I did, because I had my family so hovered around me, that I don't think, like, the Burn Foundation, and I think they all, "Oh, she's fine. She's got her community around her." It was my family. Um, But somehow I think my sister was so diligent at looking at what was out there for me that she, came across the Burn Foundation, um, and that's what got me into actually where Lori and I met, and Julie
Uh-huh.
indeed, was a support group for burn
Yeah.
survivors. So that's where we began, and it was run out of the hospital where I was burned, or where I ended up being treated for my burn. And that kinda opened up my world to this one community. We all have many communities in our lives, I think.
Mhm.
But this burn community has been so special because it offers the burn survivors a sounding board, and
Mm.
some of it is physical. "Hey, how did you feel about your burn compression garments?"
Mhm.
Little conversations of, "Did you use the ones that they prescribed, or did you just go to, a running store and get compression pants?" Like, these little conversations. "How long has your skin been itchy?" And this is all very individual too, and it's
Mhm.
good to know that we all experience different things. And I'm very careful to tell people, "This is what I experienced." It might not be what you experienced, but it's good to be able to have people to talk to that understand where you're coming
Mm.
from. And that is so what community means in general. We were talking about your religion and culture. That's a community where
Mhm.
everyone understands where you're coming from in that regard. The burn community, where everyone understands what you and your family might be going through, your caretakers, your spouse, your children. Um, so for me, I have just loved having found this community in order to not only better understand the physical part of my healing, but also to have the supports offered by Changed by Fire and the Burn Foundation and the Phoenix Burn Sobriety. All of those
Mm.
encompassing all of these different ways to help us as a community to move forward. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I really feel it's important right from the get-go to seek out these
Yeah.
opportunities and these communities that are out there. You just need to find them.
And I think, like, again, like, once again, awareness of kind
Yeah.
of what's there and what's available, and I love how you're stating too, I mean, like, for most people, there's a variety of options,
Yeah.
and being aware of all the options that are there, so you can kind of pick and choose and navigate, what is going to best fit my own individual and my own collective healing journey.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we know that, trauma and the trauma around an injury and impact and the recovery journey just so wholly affects your sense of safety, your sense of connection, reconnection to yourself and to others. And with it impacting both individually and collectively, your identity. So we really want to build and support and understand, how can we support building that sense of community and healing? Helping you understand and found a new sense of identity in your community. And so, similarly to our previous episode and many of our episodes, we're going to give you some ideas. Now, some of these ideas may not be a fit for you. Some may hit right on the money, right on the mark. Again, there's a value in understanding and awareness because then you can pick and choose and apply and try what best or might benefit you.
Excellent. So, first, identify others who might have a shared experience and make time to connect. So, this could be through a peer support group, which is kind of where I started off in this community, a mentorship opportunity. I did this with the SOAR program, which
Hmm.
connects burn survivors to folks who are just beginning their burn journey in the hospital, maybe scared, don't know what's going on. How am I moving forward? I even find this going forward. I'll be at work and I'll run into somebody who has just had an experience, and I'll say, "Oh my
Mm,
God, me too. I was at the burn center," and being able to offer myself in that regard. It's really
mm,
enriching to be able to give back to others in that way. Um, and talking with those with similar injuries in clinic visits, um, a healing organization that provides resources and events to burn survivors, like Change by Fire, like the Arizona Burn Foundation or any other burn foundation in your community, and the Phoenix Society, which is a little more, is it national or
The
international?
Phoenix Society is international. There's
Wow.
people, like, all
Yeah.
other countries, and this is
Yeah.
then too, like, it's if there's a gap in your area, knowing that there's other organizations and places that you may be able to
Yeah.
find community, maybe an estate close to you that provides some interstate resources or like a
Absolutely.
larger organization.
Yeah. So just notice what it feels like to be in the presence of others who have a sense of understanding in your walk. And notice what it feels like not to be fully alone in your struggles.
So true. So, number two, in building community, identify, what might be some practical assistance needs that you might have in healing, that you
Mhm.
might need to partner with someone or some people or a greater organization and just explore the resources that might be available to address those, whether they be therapy support, scar massage, movement based activities to encourage your mobility. Notice what it feels like to advocate for yourself,
Mm.
to speak and share with others about your story and your needs, and to find a sense of presence in your body, around, and with other people. It's another kind of little known fact, like knowing kind of what you might need and advocating for that and securing that, that builds community too.
And confidence.
Hmm.
It all just loops around, all
It
these things we
does.
talk about. So, number 3 is lean into the collective wisdom and support that you have identified that you need. So, notice the words of encouragement and guidance that you receive in healing and the people who provide it.
Mm.
Allow for direction to resources that can continue this wisdom and coping strategies, whether that be in alternative healing supports, um, community ritual spaces, meeting spaces, etc. Notice what it feels like um, to stand and not be fully alone.
I love that phrase, stand and not be fully alone.
Yeah.
And there's just so much wisdom in this world around us within our
Mhm.
internal self and outside of that. And I think there's such a value in being able to seek and connect yourself with those pieces of wisdom. And number four, identify, any gaps in community, in your current placing and holding of community. And consider, advocating for and educating around. Advocacy and education can build some community spaces. So not only does advocating create a sense of connection and value in what's missing for you and your ability to affect change in that, but it can provide a place to stand on and build further awareness, direction, and resources. So, whether that might be, I don't know, a group space speaking on pain management. How do we navigate pain? What do we do to just support kind of moving through it? Maybe a parents of burn survivors support network or phone network. Maybe a monthly yoga meetup to support movement, presence, safety in your body, building of accountability. Notice the power that you can carry through your injury in creating community and what you need and filling those gaps. And so, for each of our podcast episodes, we always provide that takeaway skill just to really further empower your healing, your recovery, your access to community pieces of healing outside of the podcast realm. We know you don't all just sit and listen to podcasts all day, every day. But I mean, if you do, awesome. If you don't, that's fine as well. So, building around the idea of community and our building needs, today's takeaway is something from polyvagal theory, which kind of really builds a sense of safety and connection in yourself and feeling confident enough to take the risks and live life, which is why I really love this theory. Today's takeaway is called a personal connection plan. And it's going to help us build a sense of connection and community with others. So, all you need to do this activity today is a paper
Mhm.
and a pencil or a pen or something to write with. You could even do it on your phone since we all seem to be permanently glued to those features in our life, and just pull up the Notes app on your phone. So, first, we're going to make a list. Make a list of people in your life that you feel connected to. And as you're making this list and you're writing those names down, I just want you to notice how you feel as you bring up those people that you really feel connected to. And then you're going to notice, in coordination with that list of people, what are the things that I do with these people that bring me a sense of joy, a sense of engagement? And you're going to make a little list of what those things are. Taking a walk with someone, doing yoga together, being able to chat about things that really bother me, whatever that list might be. And notice as well too, as I'm making a list of what I do with these people that brings me a sense of joy, engagement, how does that make me feel in my body? We're always circling back to that gauge of awareness. And then now we're going to start thinking about, okay, who might be some people or some places that I might be interested in getting to know more about? And how could I reach out for a further sense of community and support? Well, you know that one lady that always smiles at me when I kind of walk through the doorway of the hospital? I'd really like to talk to her a little bit more and just build a sense of understanding who she is, get to know, glean some pieces of wisdom from her. So start noticing, who might be those people or places, and write them down that I might be interested in getting to know and building a sense of community support. What might be some kinds of things that I'd like to do with this person to explore connection? Maybe some of those similar things that help you feel engaged with others may be different. I'd like to go on a walk during our lunch break. I'd like to schedule a phone call that we can get to know a little bit more about each other, whatever that might be. And so noticing what you have and how you feel engaged with these people and the potentials of what you could step into and how you're going to create kind of a combination, a connection plan for yourself. What would you like to try that feels nourishing? And what are the resources you're going to use? So pick maybe a person, pick maybe an idea or two in terms of what you can step into that maybe matches parts of what you have. And you're going to set a little bit of a goal for yourself, a challenge for yourself that you can step into to move towards building your sense of community around you. And this is a little living document, this personal connection plan. You can shift it, you can adjust it, you can change it, you can add to it over time. This is a document that prioritizes the connection, the community spaces in you.
Very cool.
I love like that. It's just bringing it back to you, but also in interconnection with other people in this world. So as we close our episodes every time, and this being our 6th and final episode of this season, exciting. Change by Fire. Change by Fire is the nonprofit organization that sponsors this podcast every time we run it. And Change by Fire is a 501c3 nonprofit that really provides a focus and support on burn survivors, the burn community, and healing, especially post-injury. We really tried to build that sense of community, that sense of connection within ourselves and with others through connecting to alternative healing modalities for that rebuilding that sense of safety in you, community events to kind of grow and build that sense of safety and connection with others. And, this podcast as well, which that's community like as wide as our listening coverage can span. So if you'd like to know more about Changed by Fire, what we do, how to get in touch with us, access to previous podcasts, www.changedbyfire.org. We have a variety of things on the forecast, a really cool online portal with some virtual connections opportunities, additional podcast episodes. We'd love to hear about stories, get people on as guests, really, again, value what you bring and what you can bring to the table. So please reach out to us, connect with us. We would love to hear from you.
Yay. Until next time.
No, I'm going to have, so Jen.
What?
We've talked all about identity this season and building identity. And next season, we've been brainstorming some ideas.
We've been brainstorming.
What do we want to step into next? So do you want to share with our listeners what our thoughts are?
We're thinking about relationships, right?
Yeah, we're thinking about relationships, building and really bolstering those relationships in our life and how relationships can really be affected
Yep.
surrounding an injury and healing. So we're super stoked to step into that. Our next podcast, a new season.
Yay. Oh, it's going to be fun.
It will.
So until next time, heal.
Yep.
So have a look at your current community that surrounds you. Is it what you need or is it not? Empower yourself to explore the burn community, to further your resources and your felt sense of heard.
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself to connect in new ways that best fit you. And let yourself heal and create a greater tapestry of support that supports the fabric of our entire community.
We're all interwoven with
Yes,
each
we
other. I love
are.
that idea.
So until next time, I'm Jen. This is Lori.
And we'll see you very
We'll
soon.
see you very soon.
Bye-bye.